on the Republican side, what do you think the most talked about aspect of the Republican debate Saturday night is? Without question, it is the exchanges between Governor Christie and Senator Rubio, and Senator Rubio's repeated contention that Barack Obama is not incompetent, that he's not bumbling around and screwing things up accidentally, that instead what Obama is doing is explicit by design and on purpose. And he repeated it 4 or 5 times in such a way that people said, led by Christie, look at this. There it is again. The guy, he doesn't know what to say. He's a robot. He's got his 25-second speech. He's got his canned answer followed by the 25-second campaign. There it is. There it is. You see it. And the media Saturday night all chimed in saying this is it for Rubio. Rubio has blown it. Even on Fox News, some were comparing it to Dan Quayle's moment with Lord Benson. And I said, wait just a second. It's nowhere near that. And I think this is what I was talking about earlier when I say I think some of these professional media analysts, God bless them, and they do hard work, and many of them, they're just fine people, but I don't know that they have the ability to see these debates the way people watching the debates on TV see them. Meaning, I don't know how big a faux pas this was for Rubio. Clearly, it was not a positive. Clearly, it was not his best. But I don't think it ruined his chances and wiped him out like some in the media opined. We'll get into this in great detail, and polling data coming up too, so sit tight. Okay, let's get to the audio sound bites. I want to start with this. It's the fastest way to get into this. Because this is important, folks. This is really, really important. There are only 2 people that I'm aware of that are making a consistent point. And Rubio actually is at the top of the Rubio and Cruz are the only 2 in the entire Republican field. Carly Fiorina may have said something like this occasionally. With Rubio, it's a theme. With Cruz, it's close to a theme. And the real question is, why do the other Republicans in the field disagree? Why do they not say it themselves? And that being that Obama is doing what he's doing on purpose and by design. That is a brilliantly conceived and flawlessly executed plan to transform America into something it was not founded to be. This is something crucially important to Republican voters. To people inside the Beltway, it's kind of a chuckle moment. There they go again, those right-wingers. To people inside the Beltway, to the elites, to the establishment, Obama's just the latest Democrat to come along. He's no different than any other Democrat, the same, just the Democrat Party. They have a president. They don't see the country in crisis in any way, not because of the economy, not because of immigration, not because of foreign policy. In no way are we in a crisis. And as such, they don't see what Obama's doing is anything maybe than something a young, inexperienced, this is Christie's point, incompetent boob. Well, that's not who Obama is. Christie's opponents are using it, or Rubio's opponents are using it to try to disqualify him. See, Obama doesn't know what he's doing, and Rubio's the same kind of guy. Just a few short years in the Senate running for president. We can't afford it. Meanwhile, the governors, we're the guys, we're the tough guys. We've had to make tough decisions, blah, 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 blah. The governors will not admit who Obama is. The governors will not admit, and Trump doesn't agree that Obama is purposely doing this. Trump thinks he's a blithering incompetent. This is crucially important. But let's get to the audio sound bites to set this up first. Here is Christie. By the way, I told you, and this is not a hard prediction, that Rubio was going to be the target of this debate on Friday. I told you Rubio was going to be in the crosshairs of all of these other guns because of the momentum he had coming out of Iowa. And have you noticed something else? Coming out of Iowa, the so-called Republican establishment seemed to gravitate almost immediately to Rubio. Rubio was where the donor class was going to go, and Rubio was where the establishment was going to go because it just doesn't look like Jeb's going to get there. And Kasich may have a decent showing in New Hampshire. We don't know, but beyond that. And now the establishment can't wait to dump Rubio over this debate performance Saturday night. The establishment can't wait. Now they're struggling to find somewhere to go. They thought it was going to be Rubio. Why did they drop Rubio like a hot potato? I don't think it's because of his debate performance. It may be a factor, but I don't think that's the number one reason why the establishment all of a sudden decided to jettison Rubio. I think there's another reason. But let's get to the audio sound bites just to replay what happened here. Here's Christie, Saturday night, Manchester, New Hampshire. The moderator at ABC, David Muir. And this is another thing, by the way. I saw Carly Fiorina on Fox complaining she wasn't in on the main stage, and I saw some people upset that Martha Raddatz was trying to nail Ted Cruz on foreign policy, which she was. You know, Ted Cruz had a great night, and the evidence of that is that nobody wanted to talk about it. If Ted Cruz had had a bad night, folks, you would still be hearing about it everywhere. CNN, MSNBC, Fox, ABC, NBC, CBS. But Cruz could barely even get a mention Saturday night. And the only mention he got was this back and forth with Ben Carson over the silliness, talking about Iowa and the supposed cheating and stealing of votes. But aside from that, Cruz got hardly any mention. Oh, yeah, when his name was rather solid, he was there, didn't hurt himself, didn't help himself. Given that none of the people we're talking about want to see Ted Cruz anywhere near the nomination, the fact is, had he done poorly, like some of the conventional wisdom was, that would have been their headline. But since he didn't bomb, and since he actually was pretty solid on everything that came his way, substantively, they ignored him. Best indication of the solid performance he turned in. But my point is, everybody complaining about the way Martha Raddatz went after Cruz. What if you're going to have ABC moderate your debate? What do you think is going to happen? George Stephanopoulos, a former, I actually think still an active Democrat operative. George Stephanopoulos from the Clinton War Room. What do you think you're going to get when you have ABC host a debate? Stop complaining. If you're going to make the decision to go there, you have to realize that Martha Raddatz wants Hillary Clinton to be elected, and Hillary Clinton's weakness is foreign policy. If Ted Cruz comes along and happens to run rings around Hillary or anybody else in foreign policy, she's going to try to take him out, and she's not going to show any respect at all. And that's exactly what happened. You have to know what's going to happen when you put your debate on ABC or CNBC or NBC. You have to know. Anyway. David Muir, ABC. Governor Christie, you said, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, when it comes to electing a first-term senator. You heard Senator Rubio make the case that he does have the experience. What's your response?
You have not been involved in a consequential decision where you had to be held accountable. You just simply haven't. And the fact is, when you talk about Hezbollah Sanctions Act that you list as one of your accomplishments and just did, you weren't even there to vote for it. That's not leadership. That's truancy. He simply does not have the experience to be president of the United States and make these decisions.
Okay, so Christie gets that allegation in, and Christie decided to hit Rubio because he had to. Rubio's ahead of him. Rubio has the momentum coming out of Iowa, so Rubio was going to be the target. David Muir says, thank you, Governor Christie. Senator Rubio, what's your response to that?
I think the experience is not just what you did, but how it worked out. Under Chris Christie's governorship of New Jersey, they've been downgraded 9 times in their credit rating.
That's what Washington, D.C. does. The drive-by shot at the beginning with incorrect and incomplete information, and then the memorized 25-second speech.
Chris, your state got hit by a massive snowstorm 2 weeks ago. You didn't even want to go back. They had to shame you into going back. No. This notion that Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing is just not true.
There it is.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
The memorized 25-second speech.
Okay, so there is Christie. This is the second or third time that Rubio's made the point that this notion that Obama doesn't know what he's doing is just, and Christie jumps in. There it is. There it is. See, the memorized 25-second canned speech. There it is. That's all he's got. And Rubio went back to it and went back to it and went back to it and kept repeating it and hasn't stopped, by the way, saying it. At appearances in New Hampshire all day yesterday and even this morning, he's still out saying it. Here we put together a montage of Rubio repeating that Obama line 4 different times during the debate.
Let's dispel once and for all with this fiction that Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing. Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing. This notion that Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing. Anyone who believes that Barack Obama isn't doing what he's doing on purpose doesn't understand what we're dealing with here.
He's one of 2 people saying it. Now, folks, you go out and talk to actual Republican primary voters. You go out outside of Washington, outside New York, go out to where these primaries and caucuses are being held, and you will find that this is exactly what has propelled Republicans to the polls in droves in 2010 and 2014. It's not the belief. It's not the theory. It is the knowledge that Obama's doing this on purpose, and there isn't and hasn't been any pushback. And Republican voters are livid. Obama has said he's doing it on purpose. He has said his purpose is to transform the nation. Everybody knows that Obama is an Alinskyite. The real question is, and I was talking about this over the weekend with my good buddy Andrew McCarthy, the real question is, why are these other guys not saying it? Why does Chris Christie make fun of it? Why does Donald Trump poo-poo it? Well, Trump I have to leave out of this theory. But Trump also, just for the record, said, he thinks Obama's an incompetent boob, doesn't know what he's doing. Christie's point is Obama's incompetent. He doesn't know what he's doing because he's inexperienced, just like Rubio doesn't know what he's doing because he's inexperienced. It's Barack Obama, too, in that Rubio would be an inexperienced senator, elected president. We don't want to do that again. Rubio's point, no. Obama's not incompetent. He's not inexperienced. He's doing exactly what he wants to do. And none of these Republican moderates will go there. You don't want to know why? You want to know why? You want to know why they cannot agree that Obama's doing this on purpose? Very simple. They cannot agree that Obama's doing it on purpose. They do not dare say that Obama's doing it on purpose because they have all worked with Barack Obama in one way or another. Every one of these governors, many of them, and even a lot of Republicans in the House and Senate have worked with Obama to advance certain elements of the agenda. We've worked with Obama on the spending bills. We have worked with Obama, or we want to, on amnesty and immigration. There are some in the Republican side who want to work with Obama when it comes to issues on the so-called war on women. But when you have worked with Obama, when you have asked Obama to come to your state, and when you have embraced Obama and done everything you can to get assistance from Obama, well, you can't turn around and then say Obama is purposely trying to transform the country because it makes you look like an idiot. So you have to fall back on the idea that it's unintentionally just incompetent, just a boob, and we can't elect anybody else that's as inexperienced as Obama was because they're going to have the same mess. And we will not have, there's not a single Republican running that wants to transform this country the way Obama is doing it. Not one. Not a single one. There's not a single Republican in this field who would, by virtue of inexperience, make the mistakes Obama is making. Because Obama is not making mistakes. Obama has an agenda. And I think the real important question here to ask and answer is why won't anybody but Rubio and Cruz say it? Because that's essentially, if you had to encapsulate what the Republican primary is, it's about that. Like they keep harping on, I think Christie, or might have been Trump, I don't know who it was, jumped on Rubio. Maybe it was a moderator in the post-debate analysis. Why does he keep campaigning against Obama? Obama's not on the ballot. Obama's 7 years old. Obama's in his last year. Why does he keep running against Obama? Because Hillary and Bernie Sanders want to continue what Obama has started, and it is the transformation of America. And the Republican base is fully aware of it. The Republican primary voters have been begging the Republican Party to stop this since 2010, since 2009 when Obama took office.